guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna spend a little Sunday baking. I'm ready. Some days the baking bug really bites. Today is one of those days. All right, so let me show you what we got going on. I've got a couple of lemons that I need to use up before we go grocery shopping again. That's kind of the theme of today, using everything up. I also bought this vanilla, mascarpone cheese. It's sweetened already. I want to use this as the filling for our olive oil cake. Did I say we're making an olive oil cake? We're making an olive oil cake. I'm thinking olive oil cake with this in the center, some whipped cream on top, and then I accidentally defrosted these berries yesterday, so I went ahead and cooked them down to make a little, I don't know, compote. So we're gonna put that on top of our olive oil cake. How does that sound? Good as hell to me. And then after we get our olive oil cake into the oven, we're gonna make the banana cinnamon roll cake that we made maybe 2 videos ago. I'll give you the lowdown on that as well because I need to use the rest of the caramel that's in the fridge. So yeah, it'll be a fun full day of baking. I'm gonna stick my flowers back here because they're cute. Aren't they pretty? Those are from my management team. Y'all will see this the day before, maybe 2 days before, the day after my birthday, somewhere around there, my 30th birthday. By the time you see this, I'll be 30, I think. I don't know, around there. I feel so good about turning 30. I don't know, on my birthday trip, I got so many compliments. You don't look like you're turning 30. Maybe they were just being polite and kind. Made me feel amazing. Okay, let's get all of our ingredients. Don't be like me, don't juggle eggs. Just scoop it on out the way. We're making a mess before we even get started. Anyways, honey, we need 3 eggs for this. I'm gonna crack them. But we need 3 eggs for our olive oil cake, if we can get there. Okay. Crack that last egg separate because it's from a different batch. And I cracked the most rotten egg I have ever seen in my life yesterday. I'm gonna put it right here, trigger warning. The nastiest, the worst rotten egg ever. Traumatizing. 2 cups of flour. Then half a teaspoon of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. A teaspoon of salt in with our dry. This is a half a teaspoon, so I'm doing 2. That's it for our dry. 4, 5, a cup and a quarter of sugar. Then I'm gonna get my lemon zest off into the same bowl as the sugar. I want to feel like fresh and summery and springy, but all this rain all over the globe, not the globe, that was dramatic, but it's been raining everywhere. I will say I did not plan on using my good olive oil for this, but I thought I had more of this little Trader Joe's olive oil left in here. Clearly I didn't. Oh wellsies. 4, 5, 6. Mixing the lemon zest and the sugar always smells so good. I love olive oil cake because it's just so simple. 1 bowl, 1 pan. Like if I wasn't filming this for you guys and showing you all the ingredients, I would toss everything into the same bowl. Not gonna yai. All of our olive oil. Our milk. Not the prettiest thing in the world. Then I'll get the juice of 2 of our lemons in here because these are quite large and very juicy. All right. Then goes in our flour, just like that. Very simple, very easy. frozen blueberries that I want to get rid of as well. So we'll throw these in with the cake as well. Take a shot every time I say as well. Spray a pan really well. I'm out of parchment paper. If I wasn't out of parchment paper, I'd just line the pan. But today we're just gonna have to spray and pray. I'm also gonna get a little bit of olive oil in the bottom and then pour it on over. I'm gonna toss my berries in a little bit of flour to try to get them not to sink, you know what I mean? Normally, I don't mind that. I really actually like when the berries sink to the bottom of the pan. They get gooey on the bottom and they're just like, I really like that. I think it's really pretty. I think it's delicious. But since I don't have parchment on the bottom, I don't want an ooey gooey mess. So we'll sprinkle a little bit of flour. And instead of mixing them in with the batter, since this is such a thin cake, we'll just go in with them right on top. Just to try to keep them from sinking, but again, even if they do sink, it's not the end of my world. I'm gonna be all right. Lucky for me, my dishwasher is empty. So I'm gonna get this stuff in here. And I don't like to bake two cakes at the same time anyway. I don't know, I don't like that. So while that cake bakes, we'll let the dishwasher run, reset a little bit, and then we'll come back and bake our second cake. I think we're ready. It's a little soft right here, but like there's also a lot of berries right there. I'm gonna test it down in the middle. Oh no, we're good. This is good. Fantastic. And you can see most of our blueberries stayed near the top. Hopefully they didn't bake down on the bottom of the pan, but we'll see. All right, guys, we're gonna flip our cake out. It's still a little warm, but I'm gonna flip it out. These are our banana cake ingredients. Let's move it ever so slightly out the way. Let's go plastic on the top. This is big enough. Not really, but it's fine. Flip our cake out onto the plastic. Beautiful. See how we barely got any of the blueberries peeking through the bottom? Man, that's gorgeous. Unless you got big, gigantic blueberries, if you coat them in the flour and then you sprinkle them on top after you get the batter in the pan, they normally won't sink. This big, gigantic bag of brown sugar is almost comical, but I need to refill. Whenever I have something that doesn't fit in the container, I'll just use this first. Like I'm gonna use this before I use the rest of that brown sugar. All right, we've got everything we need here. And I'll put this recipe on the screen. It's that viral banana cinnamon roll cake that was going crazy on TikTok. It is a vegan recipe, but I just swapped out, like she just used non-dairy, non-animal based products like as substitutions. Like she used non-dairy milk, non-dairy yogurt. So just use, you know, what you would normally use. Does that make sense? I hope so. Oh, these poor bananas, Lord. I just let bananas sit up and get brown, looking all crazy. But we need 330 grams of, no, I'm sorry, hold on. 360 grams of ripe banana. These are the perfect bacon bananas. Just about over the edge of where you don't want to do anything with them, but they're right there. I also used them to make a peanut butter banana protein smoothie the other day. It was delicious because the bananas are so sweet. The smell of a really ripe banana reminds me of my grandpa because he used to like to eat them like this. Everybody say hi to Eugene. She's Eugene because she's the color of Mr. Krabs with no shell. But yeah, we can get our bananas into Eugene and mix them up. I was gonna beat the bananas with my hand mixer, but I was like, if I'm gonna use the clear bowl and I'm gonna pull out the electric mixer, I might as well just use this. Smells good already. And then we can go in with our sugars. I made this cake for a Teacher's Appreciation Week for my son's teacher, obviously, and she loved it. She didn't cut it until Mother's Day, and she said her whole family loved it, so I'm really excited to taste it because I didn't get to taste it. Okay, we can get our fats into the bowl. It's oil. This is my yogurt. This is just Greek yogurt. I got my vanilla extract in there as well. I also put a little bit of cake extract in there, cake butter extract. I like that when I'm making something banana-y because it kind of gives it that like banana pudding-y feel. Does that make sense? I use it whenever I make something banana-y. And then before I mix that, I'm gonna get my flour right on top. And then our milk. The only thing with a really simple cake like this, I don't like to over mix it, so I kind of put everything in on top of each other. I love my little pasta spatula, but we can give this a quick little fold before we get it off into the pans. Now, I'm gonna give you one of my little tricks, okay? Like I said, I was out of parchment paper, so I'm gonna unwrap this butter and use the wrapper that the butter comes out of as our parchment paper. Normally when I'm making just like a regular vanilla cake or a chocolate cake, it's not that deep. They won't stick, you know? And these are really good cake pans. These Caraway cake pans are really nice, but because we've got those chunks of banana in there, those could get a little sticky. You know what I mean? These little frayed, torn edges, I'm gonna just cut those off so they don't end up in our cake. And then you can just take it with the ink side down, of course, on the bottom of your pan, and that'll help us out a little bit because I don't want that banana to caramelize down on the bottom of our pan and stick, you know what I mean? And then you can also use the butter to get your little parchment paper to stick, might as well since you got it out, you know? And then of course the butter doesn't go to waste, so I'm gonna stick it back in the fridge and use it the next time I need some butter. Just again, make sure your ink side is down and you'll be fine. And we're still gonna spray the pans, of course. All right, now we can get these right on over into the oven. I can't remember how long I baked them the first time, but I do remember that it was longer than I expected. We'll see, honey. All right, guys, our banana cakes are out of the oven. They baked up beautifully. They smell amazing. All right, guys, while our cake's cool, we're gonna go ahead and make our biscuits. We're doing a little bit of a biscuit experiment. I want to use my stand mixer and use this is supposed to be like a pastry cutter attachment for flaky pastries, biscuits, pie crust, things of that nature. I'm a little nervous because you know, the texture and the flakiness of a biscuit is the getting in there with your hands, you know? The butter has been in the freezer, the flour, the buttermilk, pretty much everything has been in the freezer, so I'm pretty confident that this will work. But I love to make biscuits, and I would make biscuits more often if I wasn't making such a big mess every time. And I think using the stand mixer would help. I'm gonna add some cracked black pepper, some scallions, green onion, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna add a couple handfuls of cheese, maybe like that, before we add in the butter. This is our grated butter. Again, this is going super fast because I've had these ingredients ready for a while. And then get our buttermilk in here. Okay, that did a lot of the dirty work for me. I think This might be a method we can use in the future. We won't know until we bake them off, of course, but I mean, it looks pretty much the same as it would if I would have mixed it by hand, so I'm excited. And the dough is still cold. See, by the time I get to this point, if I'm mixing it by hand, my dough isn't cold anymore. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm excited. Maybe I can do this like this more often, yes. The dough is so cold and that's such a good sign. I'm so happy. Roll them out and stack them on top of each other. You know how that goes. In half on top. And I find that I don't really need a whole lot of flour, if at all. If the dough's cold, if all your ingredients are cold, and you don't work the dough too much, it shouldn't really stick. And of course, I've got my scraper. And keep turning it over and under. Not over and under, you know what I mean. So it doesn't get too stuck to the counter. But I have a vendetta against rolling things out with flour. I just don't like the mess that it makes. Then I like to do my last little bit of rolling it out in the parchment, or not parchment, plastic wrap. Okay, I'm gonna cover it. I had just enough plastic wrap. And then you can give your rolling pin a quick little wash. Now we can do our last little bit of rolling in between the layers of plastic, and we can get it in the fridge. Seal it up, and your little biscuit brick is going into the fridge until you're ready to cut it out. Easy as that. Okay, friends, our biscuits have been in the fridge for, well, just about 30 minutes. While we wait for our oven to come to temp, I like to bake my biscuits in a little puddle of cheese. I think we're gonna do 6 biscuits, so 6 puddles. And we can also get an egg ready so we can egg wash the tops. All right, I cut my biscuits into 6, and you can see all of our pretty layers. I'm just gonna plop them down onto our little puddles. Okay. All right, and then egg wash them. If you don't have egg to egg wash, you can use mayo. It's essentially the same thing. And in the spirit of using the last of everything up in the fridge, I got a couple of these jalapenos left. Let me just add them to the top of our biscuits. Okay, that worked out perfectly. I am, however, gonna save the rest of this jalapeno juice, the sweet and hot jalapeno juice from Trader Joe's. It's a really good brine, so I'll find something to brine in this juice, but I never throw it away. All right, we can get them straight into the oven. Don't they look so good? Wow. I definitely feel like the layers are layering because the butter was colder since we mixed it in the mixer, so I'm really excited about these. While we wait for our biscuits, I'm gonna go ahead and put my olive oil cake together. The mascarpone sweetened from Trader Joe's. Very yummy. I'm gonna cut our olive oil cake in half hot dog, just for the sake of it fitting on this plate. Fill it and stack it, and then we can top it with more of our little berry mixture. Okay, I'm gonna use my ruler. This is my kitchen ruler. It gets washed and dried just like everything else, so don't be alarmed. Then we can get a little bit of our filling in the middle. This cake is so soft. Gotta be careful moving it without breaking it. The plastic helps a lot. Now we can add a good bit of the frosting to the top. So we can pile our berries on top of the frosting. And the olive oil cake is very rich, very moist. So you really don't even need a whole lot of frosting. Then get our berries on. Oh my God, this is gonna be so good. Are you kidding? And then in my little berry compote, I did berries, lemon juice, a little sugar, strawberry liqueur that I had already in the pantry, using what we got. A little extra lemon zest on top since she's so lemony on the inside. Okay, so cute and so simple, but it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna get it in the fridge. Our biscuit timer should be going off pretty soon. Making this cream cheese frosting with the caramel sauce in there. The cold caramel going in brings the temperature down. And it makes like the perfectly creamy, smooth cream cheese frosting. Caramel cream cheese frosting. I love it. Our beautiful golden biscuits. Yum, 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 yum. More butter, more butter, more butter. I wish I could smell these, really. It's unreal. I love a good biscuit fresh out the oven. And I will say, I think we got a better structure, a better rise out of our biscuit with that cold butter and using the mixer. I really like the way these look. Like, I've never gotten a biscuit this tall. These are so hot. Well, look at that. Now, that's a biscuit now. Wait a minute now. Beautiful. I'm trying to pick it up and show y'all without burning my fingerprints off. But, like, look at them layers. That's a biscuit, honey. And a big, sturdy biscuit for a sandwich, which is what I normally like to do with these. All right, we're in the home stretch, guys. We're going to lastly make our banana cinnamon roll cake. But before we do that, it's getting to the point in my baking day where the kitchen is just a mess, slightly off camera. It's a wreck over there. And I don't like to do stuff when the kitchen looks like this. It's not that bad. Really, it's just the dishes in the sink, but I'm gonna quickly take care of that so I can enjoy decorating this cake. That'll do. Okay. Both of these cakes are so moist. You really don't need a whole lot of frosting in the middle, especially this banana cake. The bananas are sweet. We added sugar, the sugar's sweet. Too much frosting on a cake like this can be overdoing it. I guess all this cake is gonna be my dinner because I didn't think about dinner until just now. I'm usually also not hungry after I cook all day. Is anybody else like that? Like after I cook all day, I'm usually just not hungry. I don't know why. Maybe it's the snacking the whole time. Beautiful. I would add more caramel to the top of the cake like we did last time. But last time I did the mascarpone frosting and it wasn't as sweet as this. I feel like if I add the caramel on top like I did last time, the cake is gonna pull way too sweet and I don't want that. We can dust it with a little nutmeg though. I wouldn't be mad at that. All right, guys, that's our little lineup. My heart is so full. I haven't spent a whole day baking like this in a minute. I started at 12. It's almost 5. The kitchen is clean. I literally have no complaints. I'm so happy. Our biscuits might even still be a little warm. They are. They are. Let me show you the inside. Oh. Beautiful. Layers. Delish. Okay, my friends, I hope y'all enjoyed our little baking day. I know some of y'all are here for the baking, some of y'all are here for the cooking, some of y'all are here for the vibe, and you don't care what I'm doing. We're gonna stay in the kitchen, but I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. It's a very busty day for me. I could stand in this moment forever. I don't know about you. Having a blast. I don't want to cut the cakes. I'm gonna cut the cakes because I would leave you guys hanging if I didn't. But I could just look at them like this all day. I'll cut a little piece of both of them just for you. Oh, it's so moist. I love when you cut a cake and it's just so moist. Wowza. Here's our banana girl. I don't want to ever hear nobody say I make a dry cake, ever. I don't know which one I want a slice of first. Banana. Oh my God. That's perfect. All right, I was about to pull the memory card out the camera to look at the footage. Why is it blurry? I almost forgot to close out the video, but that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how we feel about the just baking situation. Subscribe before you leave if this was your first time here, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. I'm gonna hit you to the T. Square, square, is a fucking love. Hey.